Sometimes a production vehicle gets more than just a number to differentiate it from other vehicles. It gets its own name. There are many reasons why this can happen, but there is almost certainly a badass story behind it all. In War Thunder, these named vehicles are usually found in the premium part of the tech tree. After all, it's not their equipment or their loadout that makes them special. It's the story behind their name. Today we're going to talk about how an American M46 got the paint job of a tiger cat on the front, how the British Iron Duke missed the war, or why there is a Soviet heavy tank with an inscription that reads, "Revenge for the hero brother." Let's dive right in. Countless reliable Shermans were used by many tankers in many different parts of the world. It's hardly surprising that this tank became one of the symbols of the American military power, and not just American at that. As a part of the Lend-Lease program, this tank made it to the UK, the USSR, and many other countries. For instance, there is a unique Firefly variation of the tank in the British tech tree, named Trinec, after the city of the same name. This was a tank used by a crew in the 2nd Warsaw Armoured Division of the Polish Armed Forces in the British Army. The Polish got this Sherman, armed with a powerful 17-pounder, as a gift from the British near the end of the war. At the time, this was one of a few vehicles available to Allies that could pierce the Panther's defenses from the front, so it was quite a big deal. Another named M4 can be found in the American tree. We're talking about a heavily armored jumbo Sherman called Cobra King. Its nickname symbolic of the tank corps tradition of naming vehicles with the first letter of their company's designations, as it was assigned to Company C of the 37th Tank Battalion. Its commander was Lieutenant Charles Borges, and Cobra King earned its place in history by being the spearhead of General Patton's Third Army assault of Bastogne. By that time, 101st paratroopers pinned down in the city by German forces had been standing their ground for practically a week already, and with the attack led by Cobra King, the German encirclement was finally broken. Today, this unique tank with a chalk legend that reads "First in Bastogne" is installed at the National Museum of the United States Army at Fort Beaver. Yep, you can go there and see it yourselves. Speaking of iconic American tanks, we just have to mention the M46 with a tiger camo. We simply have to. This was a tank used by an American crew during the Korean War, more specifically in 1950, when UN forces had a hard time fighting communist armies. According to the traditional Chinese calendar, the year 1950 was the year of the tiger, and Americans hoped that a tiger painted on the hull of the tank could instill fear in the hearts of their Chinese adversaries. There's no way to know if the trick was actually effective or not, but it's still a legendary camo for sure. After all, Pattons come with 90mm cannons that are considerably more scary than anything you can paint on the tank's armor. There are some cool named vehicles in the Soviet tech tree as well. For example, at rank 4, you can find a unique IS-4 heavy tank with the words "Revenge for the hero brother" inscribed onto its turret by Mikhail Krasikov, a brother of Nikolai Krasikov, a recipient of the Hero of the Soviet Union award. Both of them were tankers, and ultimately both of them shared the same fate. Nikolai perished in 1943 near Vinnytsia, close to Kiev, after destroying quite a few German vehicles and incapacitating many enemy soldiers, while Mikhail used his tank to fight all the way into Pomerania, Germany, and was killed only in 1945. There are also pretty interesting captured Panthers in both the Soviet and the French tech trees. Closer to the end of World War II, the fighters of the French resistance found and repaired 17 combat vehicles, each of which was then named after a specific French province, including the Panther Dauphiné, that we already told you about in a separate video. Finally, there are a few named tanks in the British tech tree as well. We're talking about the Crusader the Saint and Iron Duke IV. The Saint served with the 10th Royal Hussars Regiment, which was a part of the 2nd Armoured Brigade. The brigade saw action right at the start of World War II in Dunkirk, and then, after reforming, in North Africa as well. The Duke was named after Arthur Wellesley, 1st Duke of Wellington, who served as Prime Minister and defeated Napoleon at the Battle of Waterloo. This beauty of a tank belonged to Pat Hobart, a commander of the 1st Royal Tank Regiment of the 7th Armoured Division, nicknamed the Desert Rats, and known for their victories against Axis forces in Africa. Unfortunately, the Duke didn't make it in time to see any action, but it arrived just in time to be used in the Berlin Victory Parade of 1945 as one of the most advanced British tanks available at that time. So, have we mentioned any of your favorites? What named tanks do you like, and why? Please tell us in the comments below.